Eight and a half minutes after 7 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, obviously we love learning more about our culture and the history behind it here on Morning Edition. That's why it was obvious that we would go once again and collaborate with Caribbean Hindustani, the organization, for a focus for another series of Trinidad BHOJPURI. As we celebrate Indian Arrival Month, we'll spend the next few Fridays focusing and exploring the culture through songs and proverbs with Caribbean Hindustani's founder and our teacher in charge, Dr. Visham Bimal. Dr. Visham, thanks very much for joining us once again. It's good that we can spend the next few Fridays dealing with our lessons and reminding myself how much I didn't learn from the lessons of last year. Good of you to join us again.
Yeah, well, Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Hum mangi bole Ramadan Mubarak. हमारे सब मुसलमान दोस्तन के.
Well, at least that part I can understand. Ramadan Mubarak, because that would be relevant to me in that sense. About the month of Ramadan, which is coming to an end, we remind everybody the holiday has been declared for next Thursday as well. Whether it falls on the Thursday or maybe the Friday, based on the sighting of the moon, we'll see how it goes. We have quite a few things to run through, but I know you wanted to make a point, Dr. Visham, before we actually started our lessons this morning.
Yeah. So the episodes we're doing of a Trinidad BHOJPURI, 5 episodes, it came out on the Express House's periodical. That would be the Express, and we got a lot of people who were very interested. So I hope that compared to 2019, we actually have 100 more times the audience.
Well, let's hope so, because that is the #1 newspaper in the nation, the Express, and indeed the extensive coverage would have assisted in that regard. So we hopefully we'll get the information that will allow us to move into a bit of the dialogue in a little while. But if we can start with the expressions, and we'll put up the expressions, and that will take us along. So if you want to go, we have it up on the screen now for you, Dr. Visham, as we use these expressions. Go right ahead.
Right, I have it here as well. Okay, so in learning any language, you'd want to express who you are, your name, where you live, what you like, and basically what you want, right? That is the basics in any language. I think we had covered some in the last series, but today we're going to learn how to say I want, right? And this would be very, very familiar to a lot of your viewers, especially older ones. To say to want is mange, right? Professor Brilsy Samaru had once said that the word mango came from mange because the mango tree and fruit came from India. He said that the Indian guy was asking the Britisher, mange, and he thought it was mango. So I still have to check to see if that's correct. All right, so we're looking at the table here.
Right.
You see on one side, it's hum, which means I, and I think we had explored that prior. And then tum, which means you, right? And we're going to learn some verbs here as well. Common verbs that might be popular to everybody, and nouns. So mange is to want. To say I want, it conjugates to mangi, right? And like in Spanish, you usually drop the subject pronoun. So your boy just becomes boy, because it's understood boy is the only form to say of I go. So in Trinidad BHOJPURI, saying mangi is that form, so you could drop the hum. So if you notice on the table under hum mangi, it says hum mangi sute, right? Mangi sute, dropping out the hum. So a lot of people who learn Hindi learn the word sona to sleep, but my nani used to say sute, right? My nana used to say mut or sut. Go, it's funny, I don't know if I could say it on TV, but yeah. Go urinate and then sleep. The other one is khai. Now everybody know from Bollywood films cow. So mangi khai means I want to eat. Everybody knows Jao, right? They form here Jai to go in Trinidad Bhojpuri. So it comes hum mangi Jai. And then we go to some popular nouns here. Mangi pani, everyone know what pani is. I want water. Mangi roti, I want roti. And this is an interesting one. Tarkari. Everybody says talkari or talkari, which I wrote there for the translation, which is an anglicized version of the word. So hum or mangi tarkari. And the tum form or you're asking the questions. So is hum mangi I want, but tu mange, right? So tum mange jai bihan. Bihan is tomorrow. So do you want to go tomorrow? Mange bole kuch. We all know kuch is something. Bole is to speak or to say. So you want to say something. Mange dekhe film. Now film is an English loan word both in the Hindi and Trinidad Bhojpuri. So film or movie it means. So mange dekhe film. Do you want to see a film? Mange jaye ghare. Do you want to go home? Everybody knows ghar. Ghar is the form ghare in Trinidad Bhojpuri, at home or to home. So you want to go home? Ka mange puche or ka mange bole. Ka mange puche means what do you want to ask? Puche is to ask. And ka mange kare. Kare we did I think earlier. Kare means to do, a very useful verb to do. What do you want to do? So these are some, I think, some popular expressions which is easily learned. Mangi or mange, right?
And
Mangi for I and mange for tum or you.
Sure. And before we go into the proverb, and again, because of my heritage, for example, again, being a practicing Muslim and so on, you would hear the elders say, mange dua. Dua means to pray. And therefore, mange means to the act of praying. So that's how the familiarity with mange would be included for those who would be familiar with that sort of heritage.
And on that same line, I remember seeing Mr. Noble Khan, the former president of the IRO, and he had mentioned to me the word sukoon, which is also Urdu Hindi, could be in Trinidad Bhojpuri, and sukoon means peace or ease. So hum mangi sukoon is also an expression you could use.
Indeed, and there would a lot of that would have been transferred over the years across the many generations, and certainly by our sessions this morning and continuing for the next few Fridays in the month of May, we're certainly looking to keep it alive. Let's go to our proverb now. We'll put it up on the screen, and let me see if my pronunciation. Okay, let me not.
No, try it.
You think I should try it?
Yes, I think you should.
Okay. Ek pant duikaj.
Oh God, that was excellent.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Ek pant duikaj.
All right. So
your viewers could see what it means from the illustration, right?
I think we can try a bird in the hand, or killing two birds with one stone.
Yes, that's what it is.
Right.
And it's quite interesting here because in languages, things don't translate exactly. So there's nothing about a stone or a bird in the Trinidad Bhojpuri expression. And this expression also exists in Hindi. Just look at ek meaning one and dui meaning two. In Hindi, it's do. It's also do in Trinidad Bhojpuri, but dui is more frequently used for two. Pant. Pant means a way, a path. Everybody knows about the Kabir Pant. You know the Kabir Pant? Mm. That is a sect of, well, if you want to call it Hinduism, so it means a sect. So one path, ek pant, dui kaj, two ways or two manner, two ways or two means in achieving that. So it's really one path, two means. So at the end of it, you get or two works or two efforts here. You get it translates into English, killing two birds with one stone.
And it's interesting that we put it, as you say, sometimes things are lost in translation. It's good. I think many people were able to translate it because of the effectiveness of the image. Because based on the image, you were able to put together exactly what it meant. So that would have been important as well. We have the song lined up that we're gonna play in a short while. But Doc, would you care to introduce the song?
I can talk about this song a little bit. This song was written by myself and sung by Rasika Dindyal. It has been creating waves on the radio. It is called a Tattoo song or the Godana song. Godana means tattoo, and there's a specific tattoo that old women used to have on their hands, old Hindu women, and they were encouraged to do it. It was the norm. In the song, I'll explain when you play it, actually how it now gives a new relevance to that tradition.
All right, so let's go with that song now.
You gotta be careful, careful.
Okay, we should have it lined up in a short while, reminding you that our intention is to have these Trinidad Bhojpuri lessons on the succeeding Fridays of this month. Of course, it's Indian Arrival Day, which will be at the end of the month as well. So the intention is essentially to make us far more familiar, and even for those who have very little idea about that element of our heritage, to get some level of understanding. Let's go to the song now. All right, Dr. Visham, we won't have time to play the entire song, but I am at a loss as to try to work out what that translates to, because that will tell you how much of a poor student I am. But tell us the context. Tell us about the song.
I can appreciate why I lost. That's not the song I sent.
Oh my.
That is actually a medley for from Frasika Dindial. We could probably do the 1 hour was referred to next week, but I didn't hear the entire thing. But one was Gulari ke pool Rama Gulari ke pool Kitwa me hola ola haria balam hoi ke Gulari ke pool. Gulari ke pool is a specific type of flower. And it says, it describes the field and how the breeze is blowing the flowers and the wind, like I guess when we would have cane in those days.
Right.
And the other one was Abba Gunguru Baje Chananana. That is, there are things called onomatopoeias that we all learn in English. They also occur in Hindi. So Chananana, Chan actually describes the jingling of the gunguru baje, when the gunguru plays gunguru baje. So I couldn't hear the rest of the song.
Okay.
So I wasn't really prepared to translate the rest, but from what I heard, that is what I was able to translate.
Okay, my apologies for that. We might have played the wrong tune, but as you said, hopefully we'll get the correct one when we have our next session next Friday, and we'll sort that out. Of course, Friday will be after the Eid al-Fitr holiday. But let's go into the dialogue before we conclude this morning. I think we have the dialogue that we could put up on the screen that could get us moving along.
पुरान दिन के रामलीला के बारे में हमके तनी बतावा।
खूब नाइस रामलीला रहा।
हाँ।
हमने छोटा रही, बड़ा जो रामलीला रही।
हाँ।
खूब नाइस। नाना जॉन बार ना वैसा रहे।
तो आजकल पुरान दिन से अच्छा ना।
ना, पहले पुरान दिन से अच्छा रहा। ना खूब छोटा लड़कन खेले रामलीला।
हाँ। But लड़का ना लड़की
लड़की तो ना लड़का खाली।
हाँ
अब तो लड़की का लड़का से जस्ती खेलेला।
हाँ
पहले के समय में कोनो जैसे मांगे एगो लड़की कोनो शो में की कोनो चीज में सब जैसे लड़की ड्रेसम होए वैसा सब पहले कपड़ा।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
बनना
तो कितने दिन रहे रामलीला? कितने दिन रहा?
हम
10 दिन 9 दिन?
हम ना जानी 9 दिन की 10 दिन रहा हम ना जानी।
और रामलीला में लोग एक रावण का मूर्ति बनावे ना पुरान दिन के कैसे
लास्ट दिन में सब जा रहा अभी।
हाँ बहुत बड़ा रहल
हाँ।
जैसे आज के।
हाँ बहुत ही बड़ा रहे।
हाँ
बड़का रहे।
तो कहाँ पे रामलीला होत रहल?
देवे में।
देवे में।
हाँ।
और पिनाल में? और
हाँ।
सबसे बड़ा देवे में।
हाँ। पिनाल में ना रामलीला भइल बा, खाली देवे में।
Dr. Visham, that's Sumati Rampasad of Budu Trace in Debe you were speaking to there. And talking about the Ram Leela, one of the significant events and occasions for the Hindu community. Anything further you'd like to add to that dialogue before we wrap up?
A lot of familiar words were used, and if you notice that there was some English words used, like she said, "Ladki tu." Tu was an English word. So I find it quite interesting when I do these interviews, how the English fits in automatically. So it represents that transfer from Trinidad Bhojpuri now coming into a sort of a Creole. So that's quite interesting, I find.
Indeed, there's so much that happens when we talk about language, because it's always going to be influenced by what happens on the ground in the different situations. And before we wrap up, and hopefully we'll be able to sort out the issue with the song for next week's edition as time is going by. For anyone who would like to get more information about the classes that are offered, about the different opportunities to learn more about Trinidad Bhojpuri via Caribbean Hindustani, what do they have to do if they wanted to get a lot more than they might be getting from our lessons?
There's a Caribbean Hindustani page where on Facebook, which a lot is posted, like posters and slides that you showed today, as well as CaribbeanHindustani.org. And if anybody is interested in learning Hindi or Trinidad Bhojpuri, they could call 778-2980.
Say that number once again, 778
778-2980.
2980. Dr. Visham Bimal, thank you very much indeed for taking the time. Class number 1 for 2021. And I think I don't even think I got a beer pass, but I'll try.
No, you did well. You did well.
I'll try my best for the next session, God willing. Thank you very much once again. Dr. Visham Bimal there with us. So it's the start of our classes for this month of May. And as we head to the break now, here's a video of the traffic coming into Port-of-Spain this morning. You can see a puddle of water, which tells us that there would have been some rain overnight. There's still some rain around. The forecast is suggesting it could be a bit of a rainy weekend, so let's wait and see how it goes. But with more lockdowns, more business places closed, not much traffic, but still, we urge you everyone, be very careful, be very courteous on the road, and be mindful of those around you. We'll be right back.